Hello YouTube, this is Al from Kindred Souls of Brooklyn with another video. I got a really interesting one for you today. I'm standing here in my backyard in Brooklyn in Park Slope with a really cool story that happened in 1975 that I have to recount, which was like one of those all-time best stories where, someone's left speechless. So basically, here's the story. I'll give you a little rundown. I'm in my backyard, like I said. Behind me, you see a concrete slab right there, and behind that, you kind of see a fence with a long alleyway. Well, this story goes back to 1975, and if you turn back the calendars back that far, for those who can remember, and for those who don't, this would be a really cool little history lesson. 1975, there was actually a water shortage in Brooklyn. So the city of New York turned around and said that you weren't able to fill up your pool with any kind of water. So of course back then there wasn't any water meters. So that's something that came up, maybe in the year 2001, something like that. New York was one of the last states actually to actually put a charge on water. But back in 1975, there was no charge for water, and my family always loved going in the pool. And my mom was very mechanical, very creative. She loved working in the garden, and of course loved all of us and my dad too. So she and my dad ended up building this concrete slab that you see behind us there. So every summer we had a 5 foot pool, the typical Brooklyn pool, and we used to go to Red's Pool Supplies, which is another blast from the past. Uh, those who remember Red's Pool Supplies, he was based not even in Mill Basin because that was much later on. He had a store right on Ralph Avenue, and that was kind of an event every year. You'd go to Ralph Avenue and you'd buy either the stone for the filter, you'd buy chemicals, you'd buy the chlorine, maybe you'd buy a skimmer to take out all the bugs or the leaves that were in the pool. So that was kind of an event. So going back to the whole water shortage thing, in 1975, they said, listen, you can't put any water in your pools. And that was that. So people had the pools up. And of course, we used to build the pool every spring and take it down every fall. So my mom said, you know what, I'm going to build the pool anyway because you never know what's going to happen. My dad was like, oh, what's going to happen? There's no water, you can't put it up. You're hot, jump in the bathtub. But I'm a dad myself, but there's something about a mom that never gives up, and we as dads love our children, but the moms, there's just something a little extra. Your moms out there, you know what I'm talking about. Um, so anyway, um, my mom was at the bowling alley one night, and of course we were bowlers as well. And someone at the bowling alley had said that in New Jersey there wasn't a water shortage, and that they were doing some project in their house. I think they were building something or something. So they ended up getting a water truck and getting the water pumped in from Jersey from a water truck. So my mom said, that's a great idea. Let me look into that. So my mom turned around and she called up this company. I can't remember what it was called. And believe it or not, the water truck actually came to Brooklyn with a tank full of water. And because we were lucky, because of that right there, that yard in the back, which was always empty like that, we were friendly with the neighbors back there. The water truck actually pulled up in that alleyway and put the hose right through the fence, and we filled up our water in the pool. But now here comes the best part of the story. Of course, like I told you, there were no water meters back in those days, so the city of New York didn't know how much water you were using. So, what would they do? Guess what? They would fly in a helicopter around the neighborhood, high up, and if they saw that you had water in your pool, guess what? Somebody would ring your doorbell. Well, one day I'm in the pool. I don't know, I forget what month it was, May, something like that. And the doorbell rings. So I come out of the pool. My mom was doing something in the garden or something. She didn't hear the doorbell. I go out there and there's a gentleman standing there in a uniform with a badge and all that. City of New York, State of New York, something or other. And he said, son, is your parents home? I said, yeah, my mom's home. He said, well, can your mom come out? So I said, okay. So I told my mom, his mom, listen, there's a guy out there with a uniform and a badge. I don't know what he wants. So we both walked to the door, and my mom answered the door. She says, yes. The man said, ma'am, I'm really sorry. We know it's hot, whatever, but we have to give you the summons because we flew overhead in a helicopter and we saw that your pool is filled with water. So with that, my mom turns to the gentleman and she says, well, that's not New York water. Well, let me tell you, the expression on this guy's face when my mom said that that wasn't New York water, it was priceless. And he said, "Lady, I've heard a lot of great things in my life, a lot of stories, but that's got to be the best story ever." So my mom, without having putting up with an argument or anything like that, she said, "Wait right here. I'll be right back." So my mom walks in to the kitchen where she had the bill lying on the table. She hands the bill to the gentleman. The guy reads the bill, and the guy says, "Ma'am, I have to admit, this is the best one yet." He actually turned around, walked down the stoop, and that was the end of the story. But that was probably one of my favorite stories, true story from my childhood, way back when, 1975. Awesome story. I think the water embargo was lifted maybe in July or something like that. I don't even know. It didn't last the whole summer, but just an awesome, awesome story. A real Brooklyn story of tenacity and the story of Brooklyn never giving up. So, had to repeat that, had to put that on here. Hope everyone's having a great day. Thanks for tuning in and listening. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. Kindred Souls of Brooklyn. And thank you once again. Have a great day.